After the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, a tense calm settled over the region. But in Tehran, silence from Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was making the world uneasy. His words matter because he's not just Iran's top political figure. He's the ultimate authority, shaping military, economic, and foreign policy. Iran's influence stretches across Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and the Palestinian territories. When Khamenei speaks, it's not just for Iran but for a powerful network that can fuel conflict or, in theory, support peace. The world waited. Would he escalate tensions or signal a shift? Western nations and Israel watched for clues about Iran's next move. Inside Iran, citizens hoped for relief from economic hardship, wondering if their leader would offer a new direction. Finally, Khamenei broke his silence. His address was broadcast globally, a moment of high drama. This wasn't routine politics. His words would shape the region's future, from the risk of renewed fighting to nuclear negotiations. The waiting ended, but uncertainty began. Khamenei's speech would ripple across borders, with everyone listening for what came next. The stakes were high. His message could either inflame or calm a volatile Middle East. For many, the question was simple. Would this be a call for more conflict, or a rare chance for peace? The world braced for his answer. And with that, the next chapter began. When Khamenei finally spoke, his message was defiant and uncompromising. He called the conflict a victory for Palestinians and praised Hamas's resilience, framing Israel as weakened both militarily and politically. Khamenei's condemnation of Israel was absolute, repeating his stance that Israel is illegitimate and accusing it of war crimes. He urged Muslim nations to unite behind the Palestinian cause, challenging Arab states that have normalized ties with Israel. The speech promised that resistance would only grow stronger, warning the ceasefire was just a pause. This was a clear signal to Iran's allies. Support would continue, and the struggle was far from over. Khamenei's rhetoric was revolutionary, turning devastation into a narrative of triumph. He offered no concessions, no hope for negotiation, only a promise of ongoing resistance. The message: Iran remains the leader of the anti-Israel front, and the fight will continue. For his supporters, it was a rallying cry. For his adversaries, a warning. The speech wasn't closure. It was a call to arms for the next round. The region's future just became more uncertain. Khamenei's speech split opinion across the region. In Iran, hardliners celebrated, seeing it as a bold stand against the West and Israel. State media praised the supreme leader, but many ordinary Iranians felt frustration. Domestic problems were ignored in favor of foreign conflict. Economic hardship and social unrest made the focus on Gaza feel distant from daily life. Internationally, Israel condemned the speech as proof of Iran's threat. While Western diplomats saw it as a setback for nuclear talks, the speech hardened positions, making compromise seem impossible. In the Arab world, governments that normalized ties with Israel saw Khamenei's words as a direct challenge. Yet, on the streets, his support for Palestinians resonated with many who feel their leaders have abandoned the cause. Pro-Palestinian groups were energized, while the divide between Iran's allies and the US-aligned bloc deepened. The speech didn't just state a position, it sharpened regional fault lines. Tensions rose, alliances hardened, and hopes for peace faded. The Middle East felt more divided than ever. The world took notice. With Khamenei's speech echoing, the question is, what now? By calling the ceasefire a temporary pause, he set the stage for more conflict, emboldening groups like Hamas to prepare for future battles. The speech was a directive: ideology over stability, resistance over reconciliation. Inside Iran, this focus on external enemies distracts from economic crisis and social unrest, but risks fueling more internal dissent. For Israel, the message justifies a tougher stance. For Arab states, it means navigating pressure from both Iran and their own populations. Diplomacy with Iran becomes even harder as positions harden. The region stands on a knife's edge. Peace feels distant, and the threat of renewed violence looms. Will internal pressures force change in Iran, or will the regime double down? The answers remain unclear, but the stakes are higher than ever. For millions, the current calm feels fragile and temporary. Once again, the world waits.